This is Respectfully Outrageous with Nathan and Ben.
Today we're going to be talking about our playoff predictions, who gets in and who doesn't.
Hope you enjoy. So, we are continuing our predictions for the 2018-2019 NFL season. In this video, we will be doing our playoff predictions.
Yep, the big one.
Yeah, especially when we get down to the Super Bowl there.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, just looking at all the records and who's not going to make it and seeing how some divisions are really loaded and some aren't. And it should be interesting.
For sure. And so we'll be doing these based off our previous division previews. If you haven't seen those, go check our channel description. And it'll
should be in there.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch that one first, but it might clarify on where everyone else is.
Why we think they sit where they are.
And their records and kind of how they're going to play out in their divisions.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to necessarily mention records here, but those are our division predictions.
Right.
So, I'll start?
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, I'll start. So, we'll start in the AFC here. I'm just going to recap and give my playoff teams.
Okay.
In the AFC North, I have the Steelers winning division. That's what we came across. And then I have no other playoff teams in that division.
Makes sense. Totally agree.
The team that maybe would have probably a best chance and that I would give the most best of a chance is the Browns.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting to say because, it's the Browns.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, you look at the Ravens and you consider it, but we don't see either one.
I don't see them fixing or solving the quarterback issue early enough to get a playoff spot. Moving to the AFC East, I have the Patriots winning the division, and like I said in the division predictions, I see no other contenders at this point.
Okay.
I think there's teams that are on the rise, but with Tannehill, I'm skeptical. Josh Allen, it's just kind of sketchy for me.
Okay.
And the Jets, I don't know what they're doing at quarterback.
Okay, fair enough.
That's where I got that. And the AFC South is kind of where Ben and I differ here. I got the Texans winning the division. And then I got two wild card teams here. I got the Jags and the Colts.
Okay.
Respectively. And then for the AFC West, I have just the Chargers.
Okay.
I think the other teams, like I said, are just kind of not quite there yet in the playoff picture.
Okay.
Do you want me to give my bracket to the winners, or do you want to start?
I can go. I can do the AFC, and then you can get more specifics.
Okay.
Let's start with the AFC North. I'm just gonna give it to Pittsburgh. They win the division. I don't see anybody else. I'm not throwing shade. I just don't see anyone else. They all have solid seasons, but I don't think they put enough together. Then let's move on to the AFC West with the Chargers. I think it's the Chargers alone. There's some teams that are close, but I don't put anybody else in. And then looking at the AFC East, I have only the Patriots. And I looked at the Bills, and I like their defense, but I don't really trust McCarron and the quarterback to give them a playoff spot.
Yep.
So, besides, I have the AFC South with 3 teams, so it doesn't really fit. Now, the AFC South is where we differed a little bit, and it's because it's a phenomenal division, phenomenal talent, the most talented division. And I'm not throwing shade at Deshaun Watson. I just like the Jaguars' defense better. So I think the Jaguars are going to make it as the division champs. I got the Texans in as a wild card, which is disrespectful because
But at the same time,
look at their division.
You can't have 2 division champs.
No,
you
you
know
couldn't.
What I'm saying? So I mean,
you can't do what the SCDC does and goes, we have a division championship game and we're going to host it. You can't do it. We'd love to see it. I mean, I'd love to see them play 3 times a season, but it's not going to happen. So I have the Texans in this as the second team, and then I have the Titans in as the third team, just because I like their running game, I like Mariota, and I think the Titans are going to build on what last season, especially with their new head coach Mike Vrabel. So I think that's all positive, and I just don't see the Colts I see the Colts moving up, but I don't know where Andrew Luck is. He's in shorts right now and throwing. That's not the same as pads, so that's kind of where I see the AFC at.
Fair point. Do you want to start with your
NFC,
playoff, or just go with? Yeah, let's go NFC.
Okay.
Do you want to do? Let's do the AFC side first.
Okay.
So start with kind of your bracket. So I know obviously you have the Texans and the Titans as wild cards.
Yep.
So I mean they're gonna face the 2 top seeds, and who do you think the number 1 and number 2 seeds are?
I'm gonna have to say LA and New England.
The Chargers and New England.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I look at Jacksonville and I like everything they did, but I don't think they're gonna go 13-3 again.
That's
they're
fair.
good, they're phenomenal, but let's be honest, no. So, the Chargers are legit, and I'm really salty about Jason Verrett right now. I'm just salty.
So who do you have the number 1 seed? Patriots or Chargers?
Let's go New England.
Okay, so then you would have New England playing the Titans.
Correct.
And then you would have the Chargers. Oh, I'm sorry. No, New England would get the bye.
Be the first round bye.
Right. Yep.
Especially with the Chargers.
So then the Titans would play either the the Jags or the Steelers.
So I think the Titans would play the Steelers.
Okay. And then who would you have winning that?
Depends on where the game is played. Okay.
Well, I mean, no, because the Steelers won the division, so it would be in Pittsburgh.
Tennessee. Close one.
So you're going to take Tennessee. So then they would play New England.
That's the New England Patriots are going to win that one.
Okay.
Sorry.
And then it would be New England versus the other side.
Yeah.
And so you would have the Jags playing the Texans.
In Houston.
No, it would be in Jacksonville because you said the Jacksonville would win.
The Jaguars would win then in Houston. In Jacksonville.
So then it would be L.A. and Jags.
Oh, L.A. and the Jags. L.A. Yeah,
okay,
I want to see the game.
So you have the number 1 and the number 2 seed fighting it off in the AFC Championship, and then who do you got winning that?
L.A.
All right, so you have L.A. Chargers in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So that is that is who is representing the AFC in your mind this season in the Super Bowl.
Let me just say that right now. That is a great slot of games, and I want to see them all. I mean, the Chargers and the Jaguars and the Jacksonville and Houston, those are good games.
Yeah.
So let's see what you have going through.
All right, so I'm going to give you my seedings here. I planned this out. Number 1, I got the Texans. They have the best record here that I gave them. The number 2 seed, I have the Steelers.
Whoa.
I think they managed to squeak out some key games and end up edging New England for the number 2.
Fair enough.
Number 3, I give the Chargers. So I give them a higher seed like you.
Don't show this to Belichick.
And then 4, I got the Patriots.
Okay.
I think the Chargers end up just have a tiebreaker somehow against the Patriots.
Fair enough.
Because I think the Chargers have a loaded enough roster that they can spring something on New England or anything like that. 5, I got the Jags, and 6, I got the Colts.
Okay, that makes sense.
So for matchups, we've got the Colts and the Chargers playing each other because we got 3 and 6.
Okay.
I have the Chargers winning that.
Makes sense.
So then they play the Steelers, and I have the Steelers winning.
Oh.
And I have on the backside there, I have the Jags and the Patriots. And I have the Jags beating the Patriots.
I can see they were throwaway.
And that defense is stellar, and I don't know how much better. I mean, their Patriots offense didn't get better.
I mean,
Tom Brady got older. They didn't add really anybody.
They got actually the same.
They lost Deion Lewis. I mean,
I'm not going to hate on Sony Michel. Sony Michel's phenomenal.
Oh, for sure.
And they got the tackle, the guard from Georgia, Wynn, and so he's in.
But they just don't have the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
they lost Cooks, which hurts.
Right, exactly.
And I don't know.
Especially Amendola. They lost Amendola.
I don't think Gilmore's going to make the deflection again. So.
All right, so I have the Jags winning that one, and then they play the Texans, and I have the Texans winning.
Yep, because they were away again.
And then I have the Texans and the Steelers playing in the AFC Championship game, and I have the Texans winning.
Good.
So similar to you, I have a 1-2 seed in the finals there, and I have the number 1 seed coming on top, whereas you have the number 2 seed coming up on top. All right, so that's the AFC side. And we'll start on the NFC, and you can start first.
Let's start with the NFC North. I only have the Vikings getting out, and people are going to look at the Packers. I have questions. I have a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. So we're going to go with Minnesota. And then we're going to look at the NFC East, and I spent some time kind of joggling my mind about who's going to make it and who's not. Obviously, I have Philadelphia because they're the reigning champs. Carson Wentz is the best quarterback in the NFC, and they're just loaded right now. So Philadelphia, even though Nick Foles starts like the first 3 or 4 games, whatever. And then I think I have Dallas as the second seed, but a distant second, and they're going to make the playoffs as well. And then the NFC South, I have New Orleans because they've earned it, and it's kind of a toss-up between Carolina and New Orleans who makes it out for them. And then we'll come back to that one and explain.
Yep.
So then we'll go to the NFC West, and I have the Rams, and then I think I have the Niners.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you said that the Niners moving into that playoff spot.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because you keep hating on Jimmy G.
I
mean, we haven't seen.
He's played 7 games, and he claims he's better than
season.
Brady. And he's also said, I'm better than Brady, but he continues to do idiotic comments and idiotic actions with idiotic women doing bad things. I'm not going to explain what he did.
Okay.
Look on TMZ. You can find out what Rob Below did.
All right, so you have the Vikings, Eagles, Cowboys, Saints, Rams, and 49ers.
Correct.
So you don't have the Panthers making a playoff run
No,
this year.
I'm going to be honest. I love the Cam. I love the Panthers. Cam irritates me, and that secondary is old. And when your best pass rusher is Julius Peppers, who is a legend, but they need help. They need some positions. They got better, which is always good when your team gets better. But I just don't think they're going to string together enough wins when it counts. I think they're going to have a couple good months and just some months where are going to really grind my gears because there are some games that they could win or going to be close with. I mean, look, they played Philadelphia. They can't win that one, and so.
All right, so number 1 seed, who you got in this one?
Oh. I'm tempted to say the Rams, but I'm just something about that just Vikings. I gotta say Vikings.
Vikings number 1.
Yeah.
We got 2.
Rams.
Okay, who's 3?
Eagles.
And then Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Saints is 4. 5, who do you think is better wild card team? Cowboys, 49ers.
Niners.
Okay. So that means the Cowboys will play the Eagles.
Yep. Philadelphia would win.
Okay, so then they would play, and then the Saints would play the Niners.
New Orleans would win.
Okay. So the Saints would play the Vikes again. And the Rams play the Eagles.
Again.
Who'd you have on that one?
I have the Saints beating the Vikings.
Okay.
Because they almost did it.
Yep.
Thanks, Stephon Diggs. And then the Eagles are going to... The game's in Philadelphia, correct?
It would be in L.A.
That's a toss-up. I'm going to go Rams. And I like it.
So you have the Rams and the Saints in the NFC Championship game. Who do you have winning that one?
New Orleans.
NOLA. All right, so that is your NFC side. You get the New Orleans Saints coming out on top, representing the NFC in the Super Bowl.
So I have the Saints and the Chargers going at it, which would be a good game.
We'll get to the Super Bowl in just a second.
Sorry.
Let me finish mine first.
Go ahead.
All right, so very similar to Ben. I've got basically the same division winners, but my wild card team
A little bit different.
Wild card picture. NFC North, I have the Vikes winning the division.
Mm-hmm.
Not by as much of a lead as people might think.
Okay.
I have them actually the same record as the Packers.
Right.
And I have the Vikings winning the division because they beat the Packers.
Right.
It's the tiebreaker. So the Packers get a wild card because they have a decent record.
Okay.
So Vikings win the division, Packers get a wild card. NFC East, I have the Eagles winning the division, and I have a Cowboys getting a wild card spot.
Pretty similar. Okay.
Yep. NFC South, I only have the Saints division.
Makes sense.
That's all I can really bank on really this year. And then NFC West, I have the Rams. And then I was really debating whether to put the 49ers in there. But like you said, we don't know what's up yet.
Right. Fair enough.
I'm just skeptical. Jimmy Garoppolo played great. From what we saw, he was phenomenal. I don't think Jerick McKinnon's the real deal at running back.
Yeah, I got issues with that.
I think he's a great running back, but like I said in one of the previous videos, Jerick McKinnon is better when he's not the starter. He's like a better utility back, when you need him.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't think he's a feature back. So that's why I have the 49ers not making the wild card this year. However, they do extremely well, and I think they're set up well for the future. So, this setup, my picture here, I got the number 1 seed, the Rams.
Okay.
They have the best record. I feel like they're just the most complete team at this point.
Fair enough.
I think Eagles have a little bit of a drawback from a Super Bowl championship.
Don't say hangover.
I'm not saying hangover. I'm just saying they have a little withdrawal. I mean, it just happens.
Super Bowl hangover is real.
2, I got the Saints. I think they are another very complete team. They're young.
They're young. They're good.
They have a veteran quarterback who's still playing well, who hasn't experienced a drop-off yet. Alvin Kamara's playing phenomenal as well.
When he start, okay, yeah, he's gonna start. I was marking.
Yeah,
shot
marking.
that misfired.
Yeah. 3, I got the Eagles. Like I said, I don't think the withdrawal is that much, but it's enough that they don't get the first round bye. And then I have 4. I have the Vikings, last division winner. I'm still not completely sold on the whole transition thing with Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook coming back in. On paper, it looks like a great roster. It's a great roster, great defense. but they were extremely lucky on defense with no injuries. I mean, very to none injuries on defense.
Right.
Dalvin Cook obviously got injured, but
they had no drop off offensively.
No, it was.
They almost picked it up, which we like Dalvin Cook here. So.
All right, and then 5, I got the Packers.
Okay.
Wild card team, so that's what I got there.
I'm just interested to seeing where this is all going.
And then 6, I got Cowboys.
Okay.
So that's where I got that. And, yep, so now this sets up my playoff picture here.
Okay.
So 6 plays the 3, so I got the Cowboys and Eagles, divisional match in the playoffs. And I have the Cowboys beating the Eagles. I think the Cowboys upset the Eagles because the Eagles are too comfortable. I think they go into it thinking, oh, it's another Super Bowl run. But I think this is the time the Cowboys make
that means
they get a big win here.
Would win a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep, and on the other side, I got the Vikes playing the Packers, another divisional game, interestingly enough. And I have the Packers winning that one.
You got upset written all over you.
Yep,
Okay,
and so I got the Cowboys and the Rams then, and the Saints and the Packers. I have both the dominant teams winning this one. I got the Rams and the Saints winning.
Makes sense.
And in the NFC Championship game, I have the Saints winning.
So we both have the Saints going through.
We have the Saints going through. So that leaves our Super Bowls. Ben's is Chargers and Saints, minus Texans and Saints.
Both are good games.
Both are very good games for Super Bowl 53.
Which are both in Georgia. Yeah, because...
Yeah, it's Atlanta. Yeah. Yep.
And Deshaun grew up in Georgia, so, yeah.
So, now this is the big reveal here.
Who wins it?
Who wins it all, Ben? Chargers or New Orleans Saints?
New Orleans, because Philip Rivers throws a pick late. I'm
Interesting.
sorry.
Yeah.
He's going to test Marcus Peters. He's going to not test Marcus Peters. He's going to test Marshawn Lattimore because he's going to look for Keenan Allen and he's going to get picked. I think it's going to be like a 20 to 25 game, something like that, where both teams have opportunities. There's mistakes, and I think the Chargers are going to have a couple chances late, and they're going to be driving, and I think he's going to throw an interception. No, it's not going to be like Tracy Porter.
It's not going to be that game changing, but it's
going to be like
it's going to momentum shifter.
It's going to be a momentum shifter, and they're going to get the ball back with basically no time to do anything with it. So I'm very interested to see how the two very different styles of Deshaun Watson is going to compare to. I mean, they're the complete opposite style of quarterback. Deshaun Watson, I can tuck it and run it for 40 yards, but I can also throw it on a line for 60 yards.
You're talking about my matchup now.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. It's intriguing compared to two pocket passers doing it now.
All right, so you have the New Orleans Saints winning due
Correct.
to a mistake by the Chargers, which makes sense. Not a ton of playoff experience, but yeah, you take the veteran quarterback.
Yeah, they're both veterans. I mean, Breeze.
I mean, yeah, but you take the young team built. It's a good defense. I mean, they both have good defenses, but
both have explosive offenses.
Yeah,
so.
You just go with the quarterback that makes the least mistakes.
Right.
It's a fair point. Now, on to my matchup for Super Bowl 53. I have the New Orleans Saints winning this one.
Okay. I like that one.
And I struggled with this because the Texans have a very high-powered offense. Very high-powered.
I thought you were going to talk about their defense because they're loaded defensively.
I mean, they are too, but I mean, the thing is the Texans are prone to injuries.
Yeah.
We know what happens. I just feel like, and
that would hurt.
Deshaun's a second-year quarterback,
yeah.
And Drew Brees has been in this league for I don't even know how long. He's gonna break the passing yards record this year. I mean, I just got to go with Drew Brees. It's really a quarterback matchup here because, I mean, I just look at the running games too. The Saints have a better running game.
Let's just talk about the quarterbacks for a second, about who has more to prove in that game. Who has more to prove in that game for you? New Orleans, Drew Brees, or Deshaun Watson?
I think Drew Brees. If Drew Brees can win the Super Bowl, it's...
If he gets a second, then he leapfrogs Rodgers, he leapfrogs Favre, and he's on the fast.
I would say he's almost in the conversation with Brady at that point.
I mean, almost in the conversation. I'd put him. I had him Moreno. I put him on.
I mean, yeah. I put him up there with the stats. The stats don't lie.
I put him ahead of Manning, so that means it's him, it's Brady, Montana, Breeze at that point. And if
people are gonna say that.
If Watson wins, then he's ahead of everybody.
But then he's got to live up to it at that point.
Which is good luck, and they have to pay him.
So that's where I'm at. They both have scary. I think the Saints just have the better defense. I think they have a better quarterback, better running game.
And that's with the Honey Badger playing back there.
Right. But even the Saints, maybe the receiving core isn't as well balanced as the Texans. But the quarterback throws the receivers. So, yeah, I got the Saints winning, and Ben does as well. So we both have the Saints winning Super Bowl 53.
I have my arch rivals winning that game.
Yeah, well.
I think the Panthers are going to steal one against New Orleans, so it's all good.
All right, so those were our playoff predictions for the 2018-2019 NFL season.
But the exciting thing is, they might be right, they might be wrong, and that's the best thing about the NFL is because if we were right, and we could simply look down at the math and figure out exactly...
We could be completely wrong. Who knows?
If we were completely right about everything, it'd make the NFL boring. And the good thing is we're usually wrong, which allows the NFL to be entertaining and interesting for years and years to come. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. All right, so thank you for listening, and at this point, you probably have seen or don't need to see our division previews, but if you haven't, go back and check those out.
It goes a little bit more detail about why we said each thing and why we disagreed about the AFC South. That's a good segment.
Yeah, that is a very good segment. So thank you for listening, and we will be punching out some more videos at some point.
So stay tuned.
Yeah.